What's up, YouTube? I'm Mike, and today I'm back with another MENT update. The MENT updates are coming pretty much daily. I don't think that has to do with the fact that it's an ACE ester, but everything to do with the fact that so many things were out of whack in the beginning of this cycle. It's just been an epic nightmare. My mood is just changing so rapidly right now that it's like every day is a brand new day in some form or fashion or another. So one thing I would like to disclose, because I think it's visible, I don't know if it's visible. I took a modafinil today. I took half of it. I took 100 milligrams of modafinil today for reasons that I think I will not get into in this video yet. Yeah, I think I'll save that for a future video. But basically I needed to trial the modafinil to see how it feels in my body, to see should I have to start getting up and living on a normal schedule and need a little help reacclimating to a normal world schedule, which is usually very hard for me to do because my like circadian rhythm naturally just wants to be up till 5 o'clock in the morning and sleep till about noon. That's sort of my sweet spot. And I very possibly may have to be changing that very, very soon. So I wanted to trial the modafinil before before I absolutely had to see what it was going to feel like. I feel like it's making my face a bit red and my upper body here. So if you're noticing that I look like that my face looks like it's getting ready to burst, that is why. My wife didn't notice it, but I think it's pretty apparent. So what is the MENT update? Well, the MENT update is that yesterday I think it was yesterday that I published a video. I was pretty depressed, pretty beaten down about all of the troubles that I've been having with this compound. But last night was confirmation that the MENT Libido that has been talked about so much in the community that I had pretty much forgotten about, because obviously I started the MENT and it knocked my D game straight into the toilet. I had absolutely zero libido, no functionality, nothing. It was horrible. Well, now that I'm getting everything dialed in, my estrogen is clearly on the decline. The libido is coming on savage. I have in the last 3 days, we've gone from I totally don't care to I want it twice a day. Which has happened, I think the last 2 days in a row have been 2 days. We did not go this morning. I probably could right now if I wasn't making this video and my wife wasn't cooking. So I'm actually really, really excited about that, because that's obviously one of the things that I love about gear is the crazy high libido. And I have not had the 2-a-day libido in quite a while. That probably hasn't occurred since before we left to go doing a bunch of traveling. There was a period of time a couple years ago, it feels like now, that my wife and I were both on something or other, and 2 days were pretty consistent for several weeks in a row. That has not been the case for quite a while, and it seems to be coming back now that things in my system are, as far as my estrogen and prolactin are getting dialed in. It seems to be coming back, and well, so far it is back in a major way. So my functionality, my physical functionality is basically back, all the way back. I think the only thing that's holding me up right now is a mental block. Like my D game was wrecked so bad for what felt like so long that, like, without getting into a lot of details that will fuck up this video, like I'm not pushing the limits of longevity, for example, like I might. There's a lot of things I'm not really pushing the envelope of right now, just because I'm kind of in this like tentative state, which is really terrible. And hopefully the massive driving libido will wash that out of my system rapidly, because I can't stand being in this state of lack of confidence in the bedroom. And that's one of the many reasons that I hate messing with any cycles that cause me to screw around with my estrogen. I want to have, half the reason that I do gear is because I want to have supreme confidence that in the bedroom I'm going to be firing on all cylinders every single day of the week without question, no matter how many times a day or a week we're getting up to this activity. I do not want to feel my age in the bedroom at all. And while I'm not feeling it right now, I think I'm still toting along a bit of a psychological burden from having been traumatized by a broke D game for like 2 weeks. So that is very positive. Another thing that I want to be sure to talk about in this video, because this is just one of the many things that have happened that I cannot explain. I don't know the cause. I'm not even a guess at a cause, but I'm just going to throw it out there to see if anybody else has experienced this. Again, not to beat a dead horse, to just absolutely to death like I have been, I was absolutely convinced that my E2 was not high because I was not experiencing any of the symptoms. One of those super weird things that has happened over the last 3 to 4 days, give or take, is that as I have gotten my estrogen to come down by redosing Arimidex, I went from a state of having very high estrogen and no apparent gyno. And as my estrogen is falling, I'm starting to get gyno symptoms, which, I mean, is super bizarre. Like, when I say symptoms, like, I don't have, like, more increased, the glands might be bigger, but they started itching, which is usually something that happens on the come up. So one of the ways that I could tell typically that I could tell my estrogen is rising is that my nipples will start itching and become slightly funky feeling before the actual swelling of the glands occurs. And so here I am reintroducing Adex, and I'm experiencing all of the signs and symptoms that my estrogen is recovering because my D game is back, my affinity for my wife is back. There's like a lot of different things that are trending in a positive direction. But then all of a sudden, I start getting itchy nipples, and I wonder if that is not a case of that there's kind of a sweet spot in the E2 range where that occurs. When I thought back on some of my previous cycles, where, for example, when I used D-ball that I thought was D-ball, and it spiked my estrogen really high, really fast, it's like I skipped right through the normal gyno symptoms and went straight to nausea and vomiting. And so it seems possible that, at least in my body, there's a range of where E2 needs to be for me to get that strange itchy nipple sensation. And if it continues to rise, rather than getting worse, it just goes away. I do not have any idea what would possibly be causing that, but that is so far what has happened to me. So my mood is massively improved today. It has gotten markedly better since I redosed the cabergoline. So this morning I took another 1/2 milligram of Adex and another 1/4 milligram of cabergoline. I suspect that given the doses of the 19 Nor doses that I'm running, I'm going to run a 1/4 milligram every other day on the cabergoline for now and see how that goes. I definitely don't want to cause it to go low again, but I also don't want it to creep high. I think it was creeping high because I was massively, horrifically, miserably depressed for a few days, and then when I started dosing the Caber again, the depression is lifting rather rapidly. My wife was sitting on the couch the other day, and she was kind of looking at me funny, and I don't remember exactly the way the conversation went down, but she had noticed that my mood, like over the last 6 hours, was rapidly changing, and she thought I had gone and dosed the Xanax. And I was like, no, I took, or maybe I guess I had admitted that I had broke down. I think that's what it was. We were sitting on the couch and I admitted that I broke down and had to take a 1/4 milligram of Caber, and she was like, oh my God. Like, I've been sitting over here wondering because I've noticed that your mood seems to be getting different, and I thought you took a Xanax, and I did not. It was Caber. And then I think it was last night, maybe in the gym, we were walking into the gym, and she was like, oh my God, you're laughing. I didn't even notice it, but apparently I had said something that I tickled myself with, and I was laughing again. And that shit has been I mean, you guys have seen the videos, and you've seen, those of you who are in Discord, I have been in the absolute toilet psychologically for days on end. And so now I'm getting back to this place of sort of mutual levels of psychological comfort, because my body is behaving the way I expect it to behave. That is what I need to be okay inside of my head. So when I start feeling the depths of this sucking depression, and I think to myself, need to take Caber, symptoms start to resolve, that makes me feel good that I'm accurately feeling my body. When I keep lowering my estrogen by adding back in the Arimidex, and the D game is returning, and the desire to touch my wife is coming back, and all of these things are occurring, again, that reestablishes my confidence that, okay, we're going in the right direction. I'm now reattuned with what my body is doing, and this is confidence inspiring, and then I can get back to being in my usual cocky, arrogant, semi-narcissistic state. I say semi-narcissistic because I don't have narcissistic personality disorder. People throw that term narcissism around, and yes, there's differences, but nobody gives a shit. So anyway, I'm feeling substantially better today, and this was true also. Just to clear the water, or the air, clear the air, unmuddy the water. Who knows? I don't think it's the modafinil. While I am definitely feeling a little pepped up and a little bit more driven since I took it, I do not think that I was feeling pretty good this morning, and then I redosed Caber this morning, and so all of the signs and symptoms that I'm experiencing. In fact, I was actually sitting out in the living room with my wife while she was watching her show on my phone, which is a very strong indicator that my hormonal balance is recovering. Because my wife watches the most god-awful, miserable, psychologically torturous TV you can imagine. Like, I don't know how she can watch some of these shows and not like just be in a home somewhere rocking just repetitively. I sit in the same room with her, and I kind of like cut my eyes at the TV. She's watching this show right now on Netflix called Midwife. Dude, I cannot understand. It is torturous to listen to. Everything about the whole show is just this gloom, and the delivery and the characters have absolutely zero personality, and it's just miserable. I don't know what she's doing in there. But then again, that's women, right? Like, guys like to watch, like action flicks and bombs going off and fight scenes and chase scenes, and women just watch these shows I cannot wrap my head around. But the point is not to shit talk her show. The point is just that during this period of time where she would say that I've been absent, that I have been checked out, I have just been living in my office. Like, I get up in the morning, I come straight to my fucking desk, I sit in front of these 3 monitors and make videos and play games and do my thing, and I will occasionally wander out to get food or, say something to her, but I'm not feeling the desire to just be in her I have not been feeling the desire to be around her. And when I noticed that I was sitting out there during that god-awful show, I was like, ooh, that's different. Like last night, laying in bed, we were watching TV, and I was just like petting her foot. Dude, this has not been happening for what feels like an eternity. She told me last night she felt like my D game had been broken for 6 months. She was threatening to go to the adult store and find a stand-in because for us, like 10 days, I don't know what it was in total before it started trending up, but it's only just now really getting better. So it's like, probably 15 days or it's probably less than that. I don't know what it was, but that shit is an eternity for us, dude. Like, it's so long. And so hopefully I don't care if she has toys, but hopefully everything is going to continue to trend in a positive direction. So if you're not in my Discord, I was talking to my ace deuce Cavalser last night. Obviously, he's been kind of helping me be a voice of reason when my brain gets overactive and spastic. And so we were talking about the future of my cycle. A couple of people were asking me like what I'm planning to do going forward. And so the current plan is to stick to the current androgen load for the time being, while I am trying to confirm that my E2 and my prolactin are back into the sweet spot. My TRT company, which is Royal Medical Center, sent me an email the other day saying that I have to go get labs done, which is great because they pay for it. So I'm getting ready to get a free testosterone, which is irrelevant. It'll just come back greater than 1500. But I'm going to get a free metabolic panel and a free E2 sensitive test. So I'm kind of fucking them off a little bit, because I want to wait and give my E2, give all these 8x doses a chance to kick in. But I'm definitely going to be getting some updates on where the E2 is coming up here pretty quickly. I'm probably gonna put it off until they send me another email saying, hey, you got to go get this done right now, and then go take advantage of that free blood work, and then I will report back on where my E2 is sitting. So I'm going to try to dial my E2 in at this current dose, at this current protocol, which, here we go again, 500 milligrams of Test C, 400 milligrams of Primo E, 400 milligrams of Masteron E, 300 milligrams of Nandrolone decanoate, also known as DECA, 100 milligrams of Trenbolone E, 15 milligrams of MENT per day. Also worth mentioning in this video, I fell off the wagon, boys. I couldn't take it anymore, man. I have been trying to taper off the MK677 because I had gotten all the way up to 30 milligrams a day, and I was just still not having ravenous appetite. I was still struggling to eat. Well, the problem is that I tried to taper off of it, and I went from struggling to eat to starving to death, and I started rapidly losing weight. So my peak weight was up 215.4, and I got down to 207.8, 208 pounds, and I panicked again. Not to mention the fact that tapering off I don't give a shit what anybody tells you, this is just my body. I have a negative psychological effect to coming off the MK677. Ghrelin is known to have to affect your mood. I experience withdrawal-like symptoms. I have to taper off relatively slowly. I had gotten down to 10 milligrams a day, and already at that dose, like I was all of the half the reason that I take the MK is just because my stomach feels so much better on it. Like totally natty stomach is miserable for me. Like my stomach is just like, it burns, it hurts. I just don't ever feel, my stomach is just constantly like a negative thing for me. And when I take the MK677, rather than constantly feeling some kind of gastrointestinal disturbance, I just stop feeling my gut altogether. It just relieves all of that misery. And having your stomach just kind of basically nagging you all day long, that alone could be putting me in a bad mood. I mean, who wants to have like burning, burping, gassy, nagging, not wanting to eat? Even when you're starving, it's like I can be starving to death naturally, and just the thought of food sounds bad. I'll start eating, and what'll happen is I'll eat just enough food to satiate my hunger craving, and then I don't want to put anything else in my stomach. And the MK677 resolves that. Now, the question is, I didn't get all the way off of it, and going back up is making my stomach feel better, but it's not like massively reigniting my appetite. I'm up to 20 milligrams right now, and my weight was up to 210 pounds last night. So that's pretty good, all things considered. I'm going to keep bumping the dose up, and I may just go crazy and test it, because why not? I'm doing every other crazy thing. I'm going to keep bumping the MK dose up, maybe all the way to 50 milligrams, and see if I bump it up to 30 and I get more appetite, and then it flags, and I bump it to 35 and I get more appetite, I may just keep bumping it up until it I don't know. I guess target sides. I don't know. Basically, like I was telling Grug on Discord last night, I am effectively trying to brute force my genetics. I do not think my body wants to get any bigger than I am. I posted a before and after picture on Discord the other day in the progress pictures section, and it is startling. It's so startling, I might actually take the time to cut this video and stick the picture in over here somewhere so you can just see laughably in one of my live videos. I had a complete idiot come in there and say that basically I had not gained any weight in the last 3 years of bodybuilding. My before and after transformation picture is absolutely shocking to look at. And so I may cut that in here, but I lost my train of thought. Yeah, so I'm basically trying to brute force my genetics. I don't think my body wants to get much bigger than it is, but I'm gonna make one last ditch effort. So I'm gonna dial in my E2 to the best of my ability with blood work and everything else at this current dose. And then I'm going to, if I'm not growing again, I'm going to start increasing one of 3 variables. So I'm gonna start bumping the mast and the primo up, or I'm gonna, or my testosterone, if I decide to get off the MENT. If I choose to stay on the MENT, then I'll probably bump the MENT up another 5 milligrams. And we're gonna keep bumping these androgen loads up as long as I continue to tolerate it psychologically, up to possibly 2.5 grams of gear per week, and see if that is not enough anabolic, androgenic, steroid activity to spur more muscle growth. If I cannot start putting contractile tissue on my body at these very high doses that are higher than I have ever run in life, then I'm afraid I'm going to have to be back to where I was at before, where I have to start considering, at least temporarily, pull everything back down to some type of cruise type of state and give my body a good long reset, and then reassess whether or not another 5 or 10 pounds of contractile tissue is worth having to blast gear into the stratosphere and use appetite stimulants. And I'm having to throw everything but the kitchen sink. I mean, I'm throwing a whole hell of a lot at my body right now for every single pound that I gain. And so it's just, I think that I have more room to grow, but at some point you have to start weighing the cost-benefit analysis. You know, if I'm gonna have to blast my brains out on gear in large quantities for months on end, plus force feed food and appetite stimulants and GH, and have to run very high levels of ancillary drugs to offset all of the very high volumes of AAS that I'm using, plus all of the oil that's already becoming a problem. I'm just, my butt is just a pin cushion. For some reason that I don't understand why, Primo E just hurts. I watched a video the other day that said it's more tolerable to 100 milligrams per milliliter. I have 200 milligram per milliliter Primo, and it is not comfortable to pin. So I'm pinning a cc of that twice a week at my current dose. I can foresee going up to 600 milligrams on both Primo and Masteron, which would be 2 more cc's of each. So the oil load is getting high, the androgen load is getting high. The total cost obviously is increasing exponentially. And if all of this is to gain 5 pounds of contractile tissue, it's like, I don't know if it's worth it. I say that on the one hand, but at the same time, like once you get to my size, like it takes a while for you to get like big looking. So like if you, like when I was 140 and I put on 30 pounds, like I was jacked, like I was way bigger than I started, but I didn't look like a giant to the average passerby. You have to put a lot of muscle on your frame to get to the point where you're really turning heads in public and people are really starting to go, damn, this guy's fucking huge. And so but the thing is, so like once you become huge, the gains massively slow down, but the visual appeal is sort of exponential. So if I put 5 pounds of contractile tissue on an already very large frame, that really stands out a lot. It's a lot more noticeable to put 5 pounds on this than 5 pounds on a 150 to 170 pound body. It just doesn't, it starts to become exponentially obscene when you get to when you push well beyond your genetic limit. One of the things that picture that I may put in here is another interesting thing. People have said the entire time I've been doing gear, you know, bro, you could have reached that, you could have gotten that big naturally. Yeah, look at this picture right here and tell me that I could have gone from the beginner to the end. Full natty. I mean, if you believe that, I mean, you're the reason that Mike O'Hearn and Jeff Nippert and all of these people are able to have these gigantic followings while absolutely lying through their teeth to every single person they come into contact with. Nobody could build the body that I have. The guy I was, at least, could not build the body that I have anywhere close to being naturally, which should be apparent by the fact that even on giant amounts of gear, I keep hitting plateaus. So if I wasn't already beyond my genetic limit, then I wouldn't be hitting these plateaus. But again, why ever waste time trying to, dissuade the people who've never even picked up a weight and like to do nothing but troll? I will never know. So I just want to come on here and make this quick video to tell you guys that I'm doing substantially better today. Everything is trending in a positive direction. My weight is starting to increase again. You can see what my physique is looking like. Let me back up here and see if I can get, I don't know why I try to show abs in this camera. They never come through in this lighting. Sometimes we can get them on the side angle. You can see how detailed they are. This is what I'm looking like on all the massive amount of gear that I am currently taking. I also am upping the GH. So I'm up to about 2.5 IUs of GH per day, and I'm just slowly adding like a little bit at a time because I get the GH lethargy pretty bad, which is the other reason I deployed the modafinil today to see if it would offset the GH lethargy, and it is doing so in phenomenal fashion right now. So there you have it. I'm not going to go on too much longer. Like I said, there's a lot of these repetitive updates, but things are happening so rapidly from day to day that I don't want to end on a video where I was basically just hating all over MENT and feeling terrible and sorry for myself, and then 24 hours later, I mean, you could just see the massive difference. That's how quickly things can change when you've got all of these different things going on in the cycle and in your body, especially when your hormones are not in the normal range. Bringing something from out of range into range can just have very rapid effects on your psychology, especially when you're as sensitive as I am. And so I wanted to put out this update to let you guys know where we're at. I'm gonna probably try to shoot another homeless video today if I can stay motivated. I'm feeling very motivated right now. It seems that 100 milligrams of modafinil is more than enough to get me fired up. But there you have it. Thank you for watching this video, and as always, we will see you on the next one. Hopefully this will come straight up. This will be another good test. Today is July the 5th at 4:41 Central Standard Time. I also have a video coming up pretty soon about Tailored Athlete. I had a very interesting experience with Tailored Athlete that ended up being really positive, I think. And so I'm going to have a video review of their company and what happened and how they handled it. That's coming up. Stay tuned for more homeless content. And then, yeah, that's it. As always, thank you for watching this video, and we'll see you on the next one.